All right, welcome everybody. This is the Live Well Kingston Commission. It is November 17th already. I cannot believe that we are almost at the end of November and it's 4:07 p.m. And tonight we're going to do a little bit of we're going to have a regular agenda and then, are you sure, Troy? Oh, maybe did I share the wrong one? No, it's under old business. It's on there.
Sorry.
So all good. So at the top of the meeting now, we're going to have kind of our regular Live Well Kingston commission meeting. We have some regular business to do. And then I've invited a bunch of people at 4:30 to join us for a special networking meeting. Commissioners, feel free to stay for that. Also, if you're busy, the business portion of our meeting will be done. Any questions about the agenda before I jump in? All right, so we're going to start with introductions. I'll kick us off. And as we usually do introductions, I'll pass it to the next person so it keeps going around. I'm Emily Flynn. I'm the Director of Health and Wellness for the City of Kingston. And that means one of the big tasks of my position is to coordinate the Live Well Kingston Commission, yikes, which is this meeting. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm happy to see you all tonight. And Doug, you're next in my square. Doug, do you want to introduce yourself? And then can you pass it to someone else?
Sure. I'm Doug Coop. I'm alderman from the 2nd Ward of Kingston. That's the for Ward 2. That's the uptown area, Wall Street, and so forth. And I am the liaison from the Common Council to this committee. So any interactions between this committee and commissioners and the Common Council or the mayor, I'll be happy to try and facilitate. So I'll pass it on to Nanette.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ninette, actually.
Ninette.
No problem. It reads Ninette, but Ninette. And I just started yesterday at Cornell Cooperative Extension as the new Healthy Schools Coordinator. And I'm really very excited to join you all. And I will pass it to Troy.
Yes, my first name is Troy Ellen. I use she, her pronouns. I am chair of this commission. I consult with Radio Kingston, work on the Kingston Emergency Food Collaborative. I sit on the board of Citizens for Local Power. And I think that's all I do right now. Oh, and I'm officially retired. So I will pass it on to Laurie.
Hi, I'm Laurie Ferguson, and I'm a commissioner for Live Well Kingston. I volunteer currently at People's Place in the cafe and in the pantry. And occasionally I volunteer at CCE. And I do all type of volunteer work with different pastors and people to feed the people in Kingston. I'm doing heading up the kitchen at the Boys and Girls Club this Saturday for a Thanksgiving giveaway from 10:30 to 3. So, and I'm retired.
I don't think we know how to retire. I just mean that there's actually 3 CCEs that people refer to in this area. Are you familiar with that? There's where you're working. There's CCE at Bard, which is, help me out, Malia, I just blanked.
Center for Civic Engagement.
Correct. And then there's the CCE, Laurie, that you're talking about.
Center for Creative Education on Cedar Street.
Right.
Good to know. There's a lot of CCEs out there.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to keep us going. Hey, Melinda, how are you doing today, Melinda?
Oh, I'm peachy. You guys are making retirement look terrible. I don't know. I think I'll just keep working. I'm Melinda Herzog. I'm the Healthy Communities Program Leader at Cornell Cooperative Extension of Ulster County, and I am a commissioner. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm glad to see all you guys today. And I'll pass it on to Malia.
Hi, everyone. Malia Dumont. I live in Kingston. I'm a commissioner on this committee. I work at Bard College, and I guess I'm not nearly as busy as Troy Ellen and Laurie. So that's about it. I will pass it to Stacy.
Hey everybody, I'm with the Ulster County Department of Health and Mental Health, Stacy Kraft, Public Health Education Coordinator, and I am a commissioner here and going to be stepping down at the end of December. So I will miss you all, but one more meeting to go. So I use she, her pronouns, and I've been very busy lately with the COVID-19 hotline and our community health assessment and community health improvement programs, and our social media accounts and all that. So things are going well, and I will pass it on to Isis.
Hi everyone, my name is Isis Benitez. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the community health promoter for Planned Parenthood of Greater New York. I live in Poughkeepsie. I work both in Poughkeepsie and Kingston. I am a guest on this commission meeting. I'm thinking about becoming a commissioner. And a lot of what I'm trying to do is just let folks know that our health center has reopened in Kingston over on 21 Grand Street, right across from the Y, right across from the Planet Wings that closed. So we're back and we're here and I'm here. So yes. And I will pass to Susan.
Right, Susanna, it's okay. I'm the last one, I think. Hi, it's okay. Susanna Callahan with the Institute for Family Health. I think most of you know us. We're a federally qualified health center network. And in Kingston, we run the Kingston Family Health Center, the OBGYN Center, and we are in the process of building the Pine Street Family Health Center, which is happening. It is being built. Which is in Midtown. So, and actually about retirement, I volunteer a lot in addition to working full time, and I am afraid of retiring because I feel like I could be as busy as I am now. Like you guys, I could totally see it.
I just want to also, before we get started, put in a plug for Isis, being as she's a guest here tomorrow. She will be presenting at our Healthy Ulster Council meeting. So if anybody here still wants to attend, just send me an email. I'll send you an invitation if you didn't already get one, or register from the invitation that you have. But we are meeting online 2 o'clock to 3:30, and Isis will be sharing more about Planned Parenthood of Greater New York and the center in Kingston. So. All right, I'm done doing my commercial.
All right, thanks everybody. So we're going to jump into the October meeting minutes. Lori, I don't think you were there, so I think if
I wasn't.
I think if we vote, you might want to abstain. But anyone else have any edits that they'd like to make to the October meeting minutes? Stacy, yeah.
Sorry, it just takes me a minute to unmute myself. So I wasn't there either.
Thank you.
I had to cover the hotline. We've been having an increase in calls, so they need more agents on the line. Sorry about that.
Thank you for that correction. So I've added you to the absent line. So then that leaves 4 commissioners. So it's not quite quorum to vote for the meeting minutes. What do y'all think about that? Maybe we need to postpone it till next time to actually vote?
It means we won't be able.
Last month, so I can't vote on the minutes anyway.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's push that to next month and we'll come back to it. Thank y'all. So next up is administrative matters. We've talked about this a little bit. I don't know that we have to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I do want to bring attention again. We're very sad to see Stacy, Melinda, and Anna step back. They're always welcome back in a year, but for now they have to take a step off the commission. We talked a little bit about inviting some other people. We've talked about Vin Martello from the County Department of Health. We've invited Katie, who is the Eat Well chair, to see if she's interested, and she's still considering. And if not Katie, maybe Marcia, the new FNEP. Melinda, what's Marcia's title?
It's Sebro, and Marcia Sebro, and she's our FNAP nutrition educator, and she lives in Kingston.
So some good ones there. I had a thought of Jonathan, who works for Wild Earth. I haven't asked them yet if they're interested, but I wanted to put that name out there because I think that they would be a wonderful addition to our commission. And then, of course, ISIS. I'm so glad that ISIS brought it up again. I think that means we might get ISIS. And in our notes here is that link. So if you think of anyone else that we want to have join us, anyone is welcome to fill out an application. Our process usually is someone fills out an application, we invite them here to the commission to just casually introduce themselves, and then the commission votes whether or not to make that recommendation to the mayor. And then ultimately it's up to the mayor to appoint someone. The mayor has never not appointed someone that the commission has recommended, but that is part of the formal process. And so I'm thinking at the December meeting that it would be lovely if we had a few of these people present, and that the commission could vote then for them to start in January. So that's part of my plan for the December meeting. Any thoughts there before we move on? Any thoughts there about new commissioners, or have I covered it all? Did I miss anything? All right, then I also want to say for the December meeting, if it wasn't COVID, I would try to do a potluck. I don't think we should do that. The numbers are starting to go back up again. My family's starting to get a little worried again. But I still want to brainstorm some little special thing that we do at our December meeting. If anyone has a brain flash about, oh, Emily, you should do this thing, send it to me. I would love some feedback. But otherwise, I'm going to try to think of some way to make the December meeting a little bit special. All right.
You mean as in like a game or something? Or an activity?
I mean, if I had unlimited time and resources, I would send you all a food that we all get to share together. Something that's sort of what I was thinking, but I don't know if in my capacity I'll actually make that happen. So I don't want to promise it. But that's sort of a game. Yeah, if you think of a game, Susanna, I don't want to go to baby shower here, but if you think of something, let me know. Okay. All right. Okay, then if there's nothing else there, we'll move on to the open meeting law letter. This is what I really wanted to make sure we had in a quorum tonight. Troy Ellen, would you like to give background on this, or do you want me to try to queue it up?
I can give background on it. I think everybody has had a chance to look at it. We presented it also at the Common Council Caucus. CCC. Anyway, basically what it is that being able to have meetings either entirely on Zoom, which is according to Governor Hochul's executive, I don't know if it's an executive order or legislation, I can't remember. But it's something that's in force right now, and it is due to expire in January. But even after it expires, we're hoping that we could have hybrid meetings. And the real crux of the letter relates to the fact that currently, once that law goes, ages out and expires, we wouldn't have a quorum if we had a hybrid meeting, because people who are on Zoom would have to give their home address so that the public could attend at any place where the commissioner is. And I, for one, I'm speaking for myself, I'm unwilling to give my home address and have somebody knock on my door and say, I'm here for the meeting. So as a result of that, only the people who were physically present at Kingston City Hall would constitute the quorum. So we're either saying in the letter that we keep this emergency order in effect until COVID is a thing of the past, or that we remove the requirement that commissioners need to give their home address, because that wasn't the intent of the open meetings law to begin with. It was that assuming that somebody's in a, town hall in Albany or in some sort of public space where people could actually come and watch them, not that people give out their home addresses. So that's essentially what we're asking for. And the letter goes into probably excruciating detail of all the reasons why this makes sense. But one of the other benefits that it has, and maybe not for our commission as much, but for other boards, the ability for people to contribute and participate has actually increased as a result of these Zoom meetings. It's a good thing about Zoom. The other thing is that it will allow people with disabilities to, for example, mobility issues, to participate on boards and commissions if they don't have to get out of their house and go to a meeting place. So there's other, complementary benefits to doing this. The way we've gone forward is that if we get it approved tonight, we would then, it's Emily, pick up, because you're the one who actually had the conversation with Steve Noble.
Sorry, I was preparing another part of the agenda. The thoughts for the next steps for this would be that we would refer this to the Common Council. We'd send it to Andrea and she would refer it to whichever committee is appropriate. And then in my letter, we would ask them to do a memorializing resolution, but it would be up to them to decide what they'd like to do. Does that answer your question, Troy Ellen, of next steps?
Yes, and assuming that they do, they memorialize it. We also have the opportunity for the Ulster County Legislature to memorialize it. And then at some point, it will have to go to the folks in Albany. And I don't remember exactly who that is, but it is in an email somewhere. And we would obviously keep the commissioners updated on the progress.
I think it would be the state legislators. So
oh, yes, that's right. It's Hinchy and Cahill.
Right.
Thank you.
Any questions? I also want to welcome Anna and Kristen who have joined us. Hi. So we're talking about the open meetings law, and Kristen, I'll put it in the chat for you in just a moment. So any questions about the letter? Any concerns? I want to start there about clarifying questions. Any concerns, any thoughts about the process?
Yeah, I have a question. Would it be the intent to bring this before the Common Council? If you can't vote on it tonight, that means you can't vote on it until December, which means it can't go before the Common Council this year. And the membership of the Common Council is changing drastically come January. So it looks like it's going to fall before the Common Council for a request for memorializing resolution, probably next year is my guess. Yeah, I don't think
we can vote on it tonight, Douglas. We couldn't vote on the minutes because we didn't have a quorum of attendees.
We do have a quorum, yeah. Okay, well, the process should be, if it passes tonight, then a communication should be sent to Andrea Schutt, President Council, requesting that it be assigned to a committee, and that should be done rather quickly. So that's the window in December.
Yeah, but there is a deadline for submitting communications to Andrea, and I believe that it has been missed. It's usually like the Friday before. So it might not make it until the January Common Council, yeah.
In any event, I'm sure it would pass with either council,
I think also one of the, and I think it's in the letter, Troy Allen, and that's that, you mentioned how it has assisted and expanded our reaching people and their ability to attend the meetings, but also, you mentioned people with disabilities and people that might not have transportation, but one of the things that comes to my mind is expands meeting attendance for parents. They don't need to get childcare. That's humongous, to be able to participate on a board or a commission as a busy parent.
Welcome to the few people that are coming in. We're still just doing some commission business and we'll get to the networking in just a moment. Any questions about this letter? I'd love to call for a vote unless anyone has any other thoughts about it.
I love the idea that we're learning something positive from the pandemic and trying to put it into action.
Cool. All right, so hearing no other comments this time, I'll call for a vote. Would anyone like to, let's see, I'm sorry, I'm gonna grab would anyone like to make a motion? And let's figure out that language together. So the motion would be that Troy Ellen and I can sign on behalf of the Live Well Kingston Commission for this letter to be sent to the Common Council.
I'll make a motion that Emily and Troy Ellen can sign on behalf of our letter to the Common Council.
Thank you, Stacy. Do I hear a second? Laurie, you got your hand up? Are you wanting to talk, Laurie, or are you giving me a second?
I'm giving you a second.
Thank you so much.
I second it.
Thank you. Let's see. Hold on one second. My notes are getting a little bit confused here. Okay, got it. Okay. Would anyone like to abstain from voting? Any abstentions? All right. So then all in favor, you can give me a visual thumbs up. You can put the thumbs up on your icon. I see Anna, I see Suzanne, I see Melinda, I see Malia, I see Troy Ellen, I see Laurie, I see Stacy. I think that's everybody. And I think it passes. Thank you, everyone. All right. That's fantastic. Just in time to feel good about a motion passing, we're going to take a little stretch break. So everybody join me. I'm already standing, but stand up with me. We're going to model some healthy meeting. If you can't stand up, do whatever feels good to you. You can sit down and stretch. You can lean over. You can take a deep breath. You can turn off your camera if you want. Welcome, Teresa. I see you joining us. We're just doing a little stretch break before we move into our next section, part of the program. I welcome you all. Let's see, we could all take a deep breath. We can let our shoulders go down. I'm going to do that one more. That felt good to me. I'm going to breathe in and let it all go. I had a pretty intense meeting last night, and now I'm hosting another meeting today. So I want to take some breaths, be centered, be with you all tonight. I appreciate you. And look at that time. It's exactly 4:30. So I think we're going to be welcoming in some members of Live Well. And I'm going to talk for a few minutes while we kind of welcome everybody in. So I'm sorry that I'll just be kind of rambling for a moment. It's a good time to mention that everyone is welcome to be a member of Live Well Kingston. So I sent this out to anyone who's ever attended a focus team meeting. I've sent it out to people who I just also am in a lot of meetings with because I want to try to pull them in. Here comes another person. So welcome everybody. Bring you all up to date. This commission meeting is being recorded because it is a formal meeting for the city of Kingston. It'll show up on the Kingston YouTube channel tomorrow during the workday. So I'm welcoming everybody in to a special Live Well Kingston Commission meeting where we're going to do some networking. And our goal is to hear about all the great programs and projects that are happening sort of in our Live Well Kingston world.
Turning, whatever.
And let's see, I hear you, Laurie. Are you talking? Otherwise, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself. All right. So let's wait another minute. The commissioners, we had a business meeting before this networking. So we did a round of introductions with the commission members. So I think what I might do is combine our networking and the introduction for all of our other people who have joined us, so they get a time to introduce themselves and talk. And I think it's still only 4:30 on my clock, so you all are very prompt. I appreciate that. I hope you're all doing well tonight.
It's 4:32 on my laptop.
Oh.
I guess living in the Wilbur, I'm 2 minutes ahead of City Hall.
I always feel like you're a couple steps ahead of me, Troy Ellen, so that makes a lot of sense.
If it helps, I have 4:32 also.
All right, welcome everybody. All right, I feel like I'm talking a lot, so hopefully I'll get to turn this over to y'all to get to speak a little bit more. I wonder what parts I should recap. I guess I'll recap that you're all here as the Live Well Kingston Commission meeting, and it's a special meeting tonight. This is going to be a network meeting for all the people that are part of in our Live Well Kingston world. I'm planning to facilitate it, that each person gets about 3 minutes to talk. And since that's so hard for me to do, I'm actually going to make my phone do it. So I'm going to have a chime go off, and it's not me telling you to stop talking, it's my phone. So that's how I get out of that guilt. The different things that we can talk about is you can talk about your organization, you can talk about an upcoming event. And if that's not enough, we have a couple of prompts. So you could talk about what are some of your current program or agenda or agency goals. What are the focus areas or a success story that you're excited about? What's an actionable step that will help support the program or agency? Thank you to Stacy for those prompts. I think they're a really interesting way to get the conversation going between agencies, and we can help support each other in our health initiatives. All right, so it still feels early, but why don't we get going? There might be other people that join us, and I'll try to keep track a little bit about who gets to go. Yes, I'll put the chats in the prompts in the chat. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen, can you change your name so that we know you're not just Repco, you have a name? And also, people who have joined us, please feel free to mention your pronouns. If you're she, her, or he, his, they, them, we want to try to have this be a gender inclusive space. So, okay, I'm really done talking. I'm going to try to cue this up. So, but I have more to say. So a few people weren't able to join us tonight. So I'm going to do a few little updates from them first, and then we'll get on to the people who are with us. So, and also let me put the agenda and notes in the chat in case I didn't do that when you all joined. So feel free to follow along. And I'll put the prompts in the chat. Let me do that. Oh, someone's doing that. Thank you, whoever's doing that. So the updates that I wanted to mention was that the YMCA Farm Project wanted us to know that the Thursday farm stand runs from 3:30 to 6 p.m. until the end of February in the entrance to the Y. There'll be no farm stand on November 25th, December 23rd, or December 30th. The seedling sales in mid to late May. So if you aren't familiar with that it's like a seedling swap. And the farm stand will reopen in early June, and their youth employment programs from Farm and Bark will reopen for hiring in February or March to start in April. So that's a Y Farm update. Then let's see, the Happy Harvest Dinner is happening right now at People's Place. So Rebecca from the Eat Well Kingston focus team wanted us to know that there's a Happy Harvest Dinner at People's Place. It's free, all vegan, holiday, Thanksgiving timeframe food distribution. It runs at People's Place Community Cafe from 4 to 6 tonight. So maybe after our meeting, if you want to run over there, you can check it out. That's that update. Finally, Susanna, you sent me an update, but since you're here, I'm going to let you speak to it. And if you don't, then I can remind you of what that was. Okay, I really am done talking. So I'm going to pass it on to the first person that I see in my grid that hasn't introduced themselves as or in our earlier meeting, Kristen, that is you. Do you mind, Kristen Wilson, do you mind kicking us off? And I'm going to give you 3 minutes to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your agency or a project you're working on, and then why don't you send it back to me and I'll pass it on from there. But let's start that way.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kristen Wilson. I feel a little bit on the spot here because I'm new and in a new position. I just recently left the city of Kingston as the director of grants management, and I'm now working at RUPCO as the assistant vice president of community development. So it's kind of a long title. I'm sure many of you know RUPCO or have interacted with RUPCO in one way or another, but our mission is to create homes. I'm still working on getting this one down. Create homes, strengthen communities, and support people. Create homes, support people, and improve communities. And so we work on affordable housing, but we also work on improving communities, which is what my role is at RUPCO. And so basically my role is to work with communities to identify needs and match needs to resources. And so that gives me a really broad scope. So I'm excited to get re-involved with Live Well Kingston and just work with the communities to identify needs and get things started. A few things about RUPCO right now. We have our Section 8 program. Let me just find this. Our Section 8 program is accepting people to be on the waiting list. And so basically what that means is that you get on a waiting list to potentially be eligible for a voucher for Section 8 assistance for renting. And that's only open until November 30th. So if you know people who would be interested in getting on that program, you can email me or you can look up RUPCO and you can find all of the information about how to apply there. And also we're having a home ownership. Let me see if I can find this real quick. I had it all open before I started, but then I got nervous. So let's see here. So we're having actually it's tonight. It's a home buyer orientation. If you wanted to enter into our first time home buyer program, that's tonight at 5:30. But I'm sure we'll have many more. So if you know people who are interested in buying a home for the first time, you can find me or look up RUPCO online. So that's I think it for now.
It's great for being on the spot, Kristen. Thank you. Next in my window is, and there's my timer, perfect. Marge, you're next in my window. Would you like to introduce your agency or a project you're working on?
Right. My name is Marge Gagnon. I'm a registered nurse, and I am still dealing with 2 areas of care as a subcontractor. So both in the Age Well community, doing outreach and programming with them. I'm really happy to announce that at the Hub, which is like a community center for seniors, they are doing a lot of programs that involve the seniors. There's a couple exercise programs, there's chair yoga, there's also Tai Chi. But also they're expanding because of the issues of isolation and really a lot of depression that's happening secondary to the isolation. They're also offering additional programs. They do a learning chess on Mondays, but on Wednesday afternoons, they also are, they're calling it game day, where they come in and they have various board games that are there and you can play. But I think the important thing there is it's really about decreasing isolation within the senior population. And in my other domain, I deal with the children's daycare services, and there has been major changes since COVID has happened. But one of the issues doesn't directly deal with COVID, but there was a youngster down in New York City that died from an allergic reaction. And with that, they passed a law called Elijah's Law. So that means that all of the daycare services, not only in Ulster County, but throughout New York State, are really doing, I'm going to call big shifts to recognize the importance of identifying allergies, but also in very specific treatment that's been created by parent, doctor, and the providers within the daycare service. But also within that, they've released an initiative called non-patient specific EpiPen administration. And so the daycare centers can choose to apply to have that included in their healthcare plan. That has involved a lot of discussion, a lot of disagreement, a lot of issues that have come up that we are trying to problem solve right now. So probably those are probably the two big areas that I cover.
Thank you so much, Marge. All right. Teresa, you're next in my window. I know you said you didn't have much you wanted to say, but I'm going to put you on the spot anyway. Would you at least mention that you're the chair of Heal Well? Why don't you start there?
Sure, I'll start there. I chair the Heal Well focus team, I guess, for the past few years now. We're realizing it's been a while. And apologies for those who have already heard about what I do. I don't work at an agency other than myself. I used to have a yoga studio in Uptown Kingston, but the pandemic convinced me to change what I do. I basically work, I like to say, in like holistic health. I think it's a direct result of having worked in very unhealthy environments. I was an attorney, and then I sold software to very large law firms in Manhattan. And it was a very high stress, very unhealthy lifestyle, which kind of just pivoted me into thinking about ways that I can heal myself and help others live more well. So I do a lot of things now. I do sound healing, I do movement, I do breath work, meditation, I do coaching, and that's kind of what I do. I also host a radio show, which is called I Want What She Has, which I like to think is also healing. It's the antidote to the patriarchy. And so I always love to hear if people have women's voices that would make a good fit for the show, if they're doing something that is of community building, creativity in healing ways. I'd love to hear from you. And the only thing that I have going on right now are some virtual moon circles that I'll be doing in December. And otherwise, I'm going to be hibernating a little bit for the winter and working privately with people. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Kristen Kessler, I have you next. Oh,
Wait.
Troy, go on.
What's a moon circle?
It's basically kind of an introspective experience where we do a little breath work, we do a little movement, and we do some journaling focused on a topic so that people can kind of go deep, some personal healing, exploration, things of that nature.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
It's all good. And I think I've built some extra time, so I hope that after we sort of go through a round like this, that we'll have a little bit of time for some open conversation. So I think might be more opportunities for some cross conversation. Kristen, I was just going to queue up that you're going to go next. Feel free to make any announcements that you'd like to make, but I'd love to announce, this is the first time I'm getting to say it, Kristen Kessler is, we have offered her the position in the Office of the Department of Health and Wellness to lead our Creating Healthy Schools and Community grant. Yes, Kristen, Wilson, I agree. It deserves a handshake. Very excited to welcome her to Live Well into all of our work here. Kristen, would you like to talk about any of the programs? I know you've been doing a lot of stuff in your time these days. Would you like to introduce anything?
Thanks for that. I feel like that's like my biggest announcement right now. And why I'm here, I I know some of the faces on the screen. I am a registered dietitian and recently certified yoga teacher as well. But I've been a dietitian for 10 years now, and I've worked in nutrition education. I've also worked in, I say the emergency food landscape, but I also am trying to move away from the terminology emergency food. But I worked at a food pantry and I worked at a food bank, to give you an idea of my background, as well as nutrition communications, but that's like a whole nother thing we can talk about another time. I also work with Kingston Emergency Food Collaborative. So that's why I know some of the folks here. Hi, guys. As well as belonging to the Hudson Valley Food Systems Coalition. And I live in Woodstock, so I was working at our Woodstock Farmers Market. I'm also a part of the Complete Streets Committee in Woodstock. So I feel like I've only been up in this area for 2 years, but I've really reached out and I'm getting into all the places. I don't have any other projects to share. I'm sure in the future, I anticipate that I will. And I really look forward to doing that at that time. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Katie, I've got you next. Do you feel ready? Do you want to mention your new position? Is it still new? I don't know.
I don't know. So I am the regional farm to school coordinator at Cornell Cooperative Extension. I started in August. I don't know how long it is until it's not new anymore. But I'm learning a lot and working with multiple districts around the 6-county region, including Kingston. So that's very exciting for Kingston. And I am also, 6 months. Okay, good. I got a couple of months left. I like that there's like a formal definition for new. I'm also the chair of the Eat Well Kingston focus team. And we have a meeting coming up on December 1st. So it's actually in 2 weeks. So if you're on that email list, you just got a reminder. If you want to be involved, you can let me know. I'm happy to put anyone on the email list and send out the calendar invite. And this month we'll be having a presentation from Feed HV, which connects surplus food to like emergency food and other places to donate it. So we'll hear a lot more about that. So yeah, I don't have any big projects coming up for Farm to School. Nothing like specific, but if you wanted to get involved in Eat Well Kingston, feel free to let me know. I'll put my email in the chat box, and I think that's it.
Do you want to mention school wellness? I just saw that came out too. Yeah.
Right. So Farm to School, I'm only doing that 3 days a week right now. So I do have a couple other projects going on the side. I'm still facilitating the Kingston School District Wellness Committee. That next meeting is December 1st. It's the same day as Eat Well Kingston. So if you wanted to be involved in that, also let me know. They're both virtual meetings. So if that makes things easier, sorry. And now I think that is actually it. Thanks.
Thank you, Katie. I love you. I don't know if you all caught that. That's her ringtone is the sad trombone. I love it. It makes me giggle every time I hear it. Rachel, I've got you next in my squares. Do you want to talk? Are you ready?
Sure. Can you guys hear me okay? Sometimes my microphone's funky. Okay. I am Rachel. I work for Ulster County Healthy Families. Usually my supervisor, Erin, attends these meetings. So you guys have probably seen her face before, not mine. But just kind of a little plug for who we are and what we do. We are a support program available to any family who is either pregnant or parenting a child in Ulster County. We really try and get families prenatally. We can work with them up until they're 5. We try and make the program really, really, really fun, bringing out like super interactive activities, providing information. A lot of these families benefit from being connected with services like where you guys are all from, and just a lot of education around that. What else? We are just always looking for new families too. So if anybody is interested, my most recent thing that I'm trying to make sure that I get out to everyone is that our program is available to literally any person who lives in Ulster County who is either pregnant or parenting a child under 3 months. No other criteria. And we really just want to be able to get our services out to anybody who is willing to take them. It's super fun. Also, I'm the contact person for referrals. So in the chat, if anyone happens to know someone or wants to take our info down, I'll just kind of put mine in there. Thank you.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Rachel. Marcia, I've got you next in my squares. Do you want to introduce yourself? Yeah.
Hi, good evening. How's everyone? My name is Marcia Sebro. I'm a nutrition educator with our local Cornell Cooperative Extension. Our office is right there in the Hannaford's Plaza. A good referral for my program. My program is called FNEP. It stands for Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program. And a good referral for me would be a parent or caregiver who has kiddos in the house under the age of 19 and whose households are eligible for SNAP, WIC, Head Start, Medicaid, free or reduced school lunch. So our Kingston and Ellenville families in particular. And what I provide are 6 to 8 weeks of nutrition education lessons. They can be done in small groups or one-on-one. Right now, most of my sessions are online, but I can also work with a provider agency or, any place that can provide a meeting place to meet with participants. So for example, right now I'm doing weekly lessons with someone at People's Place, their Wellness Empowerment Center. And my lessons focus on ways to create healthy, balanced meals and shopping healthy on a food budget. And we also talk a lot about ways to incorporate more physical activity, because we know that it's not just about nutrition, but we got to get up and move. And I also want to say, where is she? Kristen, is that you who's been sending out the emails about walking? I'm sorry, yes. I can't make that time, but I think it's amazing. Walking is like, it's so fantastic for your mental health and also for your physical health. And I think that's great that you sent that blast. I'm sorry to have to decline it because of the time. But if you guys like to walk, make sure you sign up with that. It's on Wednesdays. Kristen, you didn't mention that when you had your go around. Okay.
I didn't. I got so nervous. Okay. But I will put my email in the chat. And if we are doing walking Wednesdays, starting at the county building uptown, and I send out a little map, we walk a mile or 2 miles, with choice of one or the other.
Great.
And so if you'd like to join us, I can send you the invites.
So I'm going to put my I'm going to put my information in the chat also. And, you know, in addition to just having an opportunity to reach FNEP eligible families, if you are working with case managers or care managers, or you're a supervisor, there are staff who have direct access to families. I would love to connect with them. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Marcia. Cindy, I've got you next, and you look like you're in a warm space. Oh, I'm sorry, Troy Ellen, you got a comment?
I want to make a comment because otherwise I'll forget it even if I write it down. Marcia, if you're reaching out to community organizations, I know you said you're, with People's Place, but there's the African Roots Center on Gill Street in Ponkaki. Are you familiar with that?
I am. I have not been there.
They're open at very odd times that have been closed since the pandemic, but I can if you put your email address in, I can send you contact information. And also Catholic Charities on Adams Street.
Yes,
do you know Dom?
Dominic? I don't know Dom. I spoke with someone else and my coworker and I, Joe, we're scheduled to go down there last week, but we spoke with Daniela and someone else whose name I can't remember, but I would love to be like connected. Any warm introduction would be appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Cindy, where are you at? Are you down in Florida again?
I'm sitting in the Florida Keys. It's not even dark yet here. Sorry, but it is sprinkling a little, if that makes you feel better.
It doesn't, no.
I'm Cindy Miuro. I'm a horticulturist, a retired horticulturist, and I have been the garden steward at the George Washington School for the past 12 or 13 years. I've been gardening with the children there all of that time. We have a big chunk of that garden that's dedicated to the school children. And I'm a member of the fairly young Grow Well Kingston group. We started about a year and a half ago when the whole pandemic hit, and it was springtime, and felt like it was a good opportunity to pool heads to see what we could do to promote urban agriculture and gardening in Kingston. So we meet twice a month on Zoom call meetings, and we have developed our own Facebook page, Grow Well Kingston, which I invite you all to check out. And we try to put some educational things on there, and also just things that are happening around the town. And it's also just a way to sort of put the word out. So we've done garden bed projects for the past 2 years, where we've given out 8 4x8 garden beds to needy applicants. And that includes soil and the first year's vegetable plants to put in, and then they get coaching on how to keep it going. I think we're going to continue with that. We'll be spending this winter meetings, planning next year's big goals, but we've been very active in supporting the Round Out Gardens community garden this past year, and also trying to revive the Barman Park community garden. A lot has happened there, and I've been gardening there with the Boys and Girls Club children a bit this summer. So we're really just looking for people who are interested in gardening, who might need some help, or niches in the city where some people might be, we're sort of like helping to get resources together, whether it be materials or space or information about how to grow things. And so we're just really want to network with everybody possible to help promote as many people that want to grow vegetables in the city as possible. And of course, that's most of what I can think of. Troy Ellen is also in our group, so maybe she may have more to add to it. I got to move under the awning.
Is the rainwater harvest shed finished?
I am not 100% sure, but I think it is. I think it's mostly up. I don't know if it's hooked up to the tanks yet.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. Well, so we got a grant to build. I got to move. It's starting to sprinkle. We got a grant to build a little roof shed that is a water collection source, because Barman Park does not have a running water outlet there. So we have a couple of large water holding containers, and then this roof, it's sort of a butterfly shaped roof. They built one over at the YMCA as well for their pollinator garden, and it collects rainwater. So we're excited to have that ready for next spring as well.
I'm gonna pause you there, Cindy. Thank you so much. And we might have some time to come back to some more Grow Well stuff if we want. Laurie, I know you're off screen. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but I was wondering if you wanted to mention the work that you were calling for some volunteers at the African, at the garden there. Do you want to mention it?
Sure. Hey, I'm like gonna follow Cindy around. That's my job here. Learn all the garden things. So at the Pine Street burial grounds, there is an opportunity this weekend on Saturday from 10 to 12 to bring a potluck soup if you'd like and help put the garden beds down for the winter. There are 4 beds that came from the Grow Well project and just need to be cleaned up and put to sleep. And there's also a hugelkultur, a large area that has decaying wood. And then there was some planting out this year. So if anybody's available and either wants to like just see it, like, you know, you don't want to get your hands dirty, you just want to come by on a Saturday morning and like check it out, or wants to dedicate any love, time, and attention, everyone there is open for that.
Thank you, Laurie. Sorry to put you on the spot there. I know you had your camera off and you emailed that you weren't sure if you were going to just listen or not, but I put you on the spot. So thanks for joining us. So I'm going to go back now to the people who joined us earlier at the meeting, and they sort of introduced themselves already, but I'm going to give them a chance to speak about any programs or events or initiatives that are happening. So bear with us. If you've already introduced yourself before, bear with us and maybe introduce yourself again. And I'm going to go to Susanna first because I think you have to jump off. Susanna, go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And tell me if you can't hear me, because late in the day, it's like my internet needs to take a nap or something. I swear, it's like it stops working. So just tell me like you can't hear me. I'm Susanna Callahan from the Institute for Family Health. We are a federally qualified health center with health centers in Ulster County and in Kingston. I mentioned this before. We run the Kingston Family Health Center, the OBGYN Center, a center in Port Ewan, and we are really excited about having finally, after many, many, many delays, started construction of a brand new, beautiful health center in Midtown Kingston on Pine Street. So for those of you who don't know, it's going to be in that complex on Pine Street where there's a dental practice. The buildings were all built like in the 1950s or something, but we knocked down the old Pine Street Pediatric building, which we had bought years ago, and with some generous funding, it's no secret anymore, generous funding from the Novo Foundation, we are able to build the health center. So it should be ready in about a year. And so that's a local project. And Rachel also, when she talked about Ulster County Healthy Families, that is a program of the Institutes. But just to change it a little bit, to talk something like less local and a little bit different in terms of advocacy, we are pretty excited to actually announce that on Monday, the 22nd, we are having a roundtable discussion where a whole host of members of Congress are joining Institute staff to talk about key issues in health, from health, the lack of healthcare work, staffing shortages in mental health and other areas, to talk about health equity, racial disparities in health, telehealth issues, and social determinants of health. And Antonio Delgado is joining us from the Ulster County region. And then we have a whole slew of members of Congress joining from our New York City service areas. We have a big health center in Harlem and a number in the Bronx and one in Brooklyn. And so we have a bunch of folks joining there. And Dr. Sanchez, who's going to be the medical director of Pine Street, is so I have.
Is it just me or is it others?
No, it's everybody.
Oh, Susanna, you went into the Zoom.
No, it's not sort of a separate flyer, but it's an email. Oops.
Oh, maybe you might.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think so. But maybe turn off your video. Now?
I did.
Oh, we still see you.
You do?
We do.
Well,
I don't see me.
She froze.
Oh.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you stop hearing me?
It wasn't that long ago.
Okay. So anyway, I can forward an email to folks if people are interested in joining. And just so you know, without talking forever, federally qualified health centers are the safety net primary care program for people in this country. So it's a congressionally legislated program, and it's the largest healthcare program outside of Medicaid and Medicare that provides primary care services, including care management, behavioral health, and dental and other services to people in this country, regardless of insurance status, regardless of documentation status, and regardless of ability to pay. And it was actually started in the civil rights era, and has since, started with 2 health centers, one in the South and one in Massachusetts outside of Boston, and has grown to be a huge multi-billion-dollar program with, I think, 11,000 health center sites across the country. So it is our program as Americans. And if people want to learn a little bit more about it, you're welcome to listen in on this discussion on Monday.
Thank you, Susanna. You sent me some information. Put it in the chat if you want to, or I'll try to.
I'll see if I can figure out how to do that.
Okay,
because
then
it's
I've
not
got
a flyer. It's not really a flyer, and I don't know if we have a link to it or if it's just in that email. But I'll see what I can do.
So I might have it for you then, because I've got it in the agenda.
Oh, great.
So I'll just copy and paste
Okay,
it in a moment. So I'm going to pass it to the next person who already got to introduce themselves earlier. Isis, do you want to introduce yourself again or talk about any programs? And the Healthy Ulster, give yourself a plug.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Isis Benitez. I am the community health promoter for Planned Parenthood of Greater New York. I live in Poughkeepsie, but I am based in the city of Poughkeepsie and city of Kingston now. I've been in this position since like July, so it's fairly new for me still, getting my bearings in with Kingston. A lot of what I'm doing is letting folks know that our health center has reopened. So we had to close due to COVID in Kingston, and now we are reopened over on 21 Grand Street, right across from the Y, across from the Planet Links that closed down. We're here. So please, you'll always find me everywhere. I always try to be everywhere at least. So please don't hesitate to flag me. Our health center is open 5 days a week, like 8:30 to 5-ish. That's where I am right now. And I will put my email in the chat. Please feel free to always reach out to me. A lot of what I'm trying to do is just network and like really let CBOs that we're here. Please spread the word that our health center is open. We are taking walk-ins. If folks want to do that, we do prefer appointments because of COVID, but we're not going to turn anyone away. We will always take literally everyone. So please don't hesitate to just tell them just to come through, or give them my email if they're hesitant on just coming in, and feel free to have that. We did have our grand reopening in September. I don't know where I am. In September. So we'll just be on the lookout for any future events that we're looking to have in 2022. Hopefully it'll be a really good year for Planned Parenthood in terms of that. And with that, like I said, I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Yes, but Isis, you didn't mention that you're going to be part of the Healthy Ulster presentation.
Yeah, I'm presenting in the Healthy Ulster Council tomorrow afternoon at 2:00. So please feel free to stop by. Melinda Herzog, I think, chairs it. Is that what it chairs it? Yeah, so feel free to reach out to her and you'll get to hear a little more about like the services and stuff I do there. So yes, thank you.
That's a good transition. Melinda, do you want to say your words?
Sure. So I'm Melinda Herzog, Healthy Communities Program Leader at Cornell Cooperative Extension of Ulster County. I don't think I've ever had this happen before, the night before a Healthy Ulster meeting, to have both organizations that are going to be presenting in the meeting. So RUPCO is the other presenter. It won't be Kristen, but it will be Kelsey Vargas and Faith Moore from RUPCO that'll also be talking about what is RUPCO and what do they do? What does RUPCO do? So they'll have a chance to elaborate on that. So between ISIS and from Planned Parenthood, and we'll be also having RUPCO as presentations tomorrow. We'll also have opportunities to do some, besides the professional development and networking, some collective action on some more vaccine outreach. I do coordinate the Healthy Ulster Council on behalf of the Ulster County Department of Health. So Stacy Kraft is also here, and this is really a program of the Department of Health and part of the CHIP. But it is my pleasure to do so and let you know that the meeting's tomorrow, 2 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. on Zoom. And I will put my email in the chat if you still want to attend and haven't had a chance to register. Just email me and I'll make sure that you are able to get in the meeting. I also wanted to talk to us briefly. I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to talk about all of our Healthy Communities programs because our many of our staff members are here. Marcia's here to speak on behalf of FNAP and Katie on the Regional Farm to School program. Ninette Warner, I'm delighted to introduce her. She is our new Healthy Schools Coordinator, working with us on the Healthy Schools and Communities project that Kristen Kessler is now coordinating, all on behalf of the City of Kingston. And of course, Cornell Cooperative Extension is a partner on that project. So Nina will be able to introduce herself as well. But I'd also like to remind everyone that we do also coordinate a Relatives as Parents program, so that if you know grandparents or other relatives that are raising children that are relatives, but not their own biological children, we have a Kinship Care program that provides a lot of support for families through support groups, intergenerational programs, a kids 4-H program, teen program. We do a lot of meetings, family events. Please do contact me. Again, I'll be putting my email in the chat so that we can connect with those families. And I think I've probably, said a whole lot here. So I'm going to pass it on to who has not had a chance to share. Well, I'll pass it to Ninette so she can introduce herself.
Thank you, Melinda. Yes, my name is Ninette Warner, and I just started with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Ulster County yesterday. So I'm very, very new, and I'm really, really so excited to be part of the team. I am a registered dietitian, and I have a lot of experience working with kids in many different capacities. So I'm really delighted to be part of the program. Thank you.
So happy to have you. Melinda, you mentioned Stacy. Stacy, why don't you go next? And then Malia, we're kind of making our way back through our commissioners. Stacy, do you have any, I'm sure you do, have some announcements.
Okay. So my sidekick is Zane Gray today, and he is very much in favor of Zoom meetings and just sitting on anybody's lap that comes to the house. So lately at the Department of Health, it's all about COVID response to the pandemic. And so a big part of that has been the management of questions. And so I have been on the hotline answering the plethora of questions that come in. We're trying, our goal is to increase vaccination rates. And so that accounts for all vaccines, but right now it's COVID and the flu. And so putting people in touch with where the clinics are and how to properly sign up or find a location has been, of utmost importance. And the booster doses have been, a whole nother realm of confusion for people who don't have online access for registering for appointments. So we get a lot of calls assisting seniors to sign up for their booster doses. We're moving forward with getting the pediatric population vaccinated at our location, which is the former Best Buy next to Target in the Hudson Valley Mall. And we're doing those clinics mainly Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And you can find out more about that at vaccinateulster.com. And one of our top 5 questions that we get on the hotline is about, what do I do? I've lost my CDC vaccination card. And so I'll just answer that for you all here because you might be wondering what to do. So you would, first off, hopefully have taken a picture of your card, because sadly, there's no organization that replaces those. So when you get home tonight, I recommend you all take that actionable step and get that photograph electronic record on your smartphone or on your old-fashioned camera, so that you permanently have a copy of your vaccine card. So what we do when you lose it is that we tell you either to contact your healthcare provider who has access to your NICIS record. That stands for New York State Immunization Information System. And that, once they print that out for you, that's your record, your New York State immunization record. And that's what you have to use moving forward. And you do need to have proof of vaccine to get your booster dose. So people who lost that are in a hurry to get a copy of their NICIS record right now. You could also have us print it out. It does take a long time, well, 2 weeks or less, we'll see, depending on the caseload that we're dealing with, for us to snail mail that, because it is an electronic, a HIPAA record rather, and we don't email that. So that is something that we've been dealing with a lot. And then we tell people about the Excelsior Pass, which is the way that you can have access to events and have that QR code, or even print the little vaccine card. But that's not always, the only thing that you need to get your booster dose. So the NICIS record is the best bet. And another common call that we get is about needing to be released from quarantine. And so that's enabling people to get back to work or school. And that's very important to keep, people learning, socially connected. And
I just got Zoom bumped.
So, those are like the documents that we're connecting people to keep the COVID pandemic manageable. There's a whole lot of other things that go on, and requests that people, things that they need, getting them to their contact tracers. So it's very busy for us. So I think that's mainly what I wanted to say. I mean, there's a lot more to say. I'm just really lucky to have Melinda helping us with our important Healthy Ulster Council, which helps us to carry out our community health improvement plan, which is based on our community health assessment, where we look at the data, we understand where our gaps are, and then we come up with solutions to help improve public health. And so, we're going to be working on some more data to make available soon to the community about how healthy we are compared to the region and the state. And that document will be due in 2022. So there's a lot of work being done in my office on that. And looking forward to working with you all more moving forward. Even though I won't be on the council, I will still be reaching out probably for information and all that. So thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Triana, so you got your hand up, and then I was going to go to Malia.
I have a question for Stacy. I had a booster appointment at the Best Buy last month on the 29th. When I arrived for my appointment, I was told that there was an hour and a half wait, which I could not do because I got off of Zoom and went, and there don't seem to be any appointments available for me. I qualify because I'm 65 and older. So I have made an appointment at, I think, Walgreens or something in New Paltz, CVS in New Paltz. If people are making appointments, but you're also accepting walk-ins, or does the appointment get a priority? Because this happened to a couple of people who also live in this neighborhood, but they had the ability to go shopping for an hour and a half and come back.
Right. Well, we did have that learning lesson in our earlier Moderna booster clinics. And now we are saying appointments are highly recommended, and, we're not doing as many walk-ins so that we can keep the schedule in better, timing. So, you know, I apologize that that did happen. More links are added on a weekly basis. So right now, I believe it's only out to like 11/22 on vaccinateulster.com, but that will increase week to week. More opportunities will happen. And I think that it's going to start to get a little bit more manageable as people, you know, get what they need, get vaccinated. But you know, it's been really hard. We've had, actually, we do need medical vaccinators, nurses, and people who can vaccinate, and we pay them. And so if you know of somebody looking for a job that's a nurse that can vaccinate, that we would love to have you send them to vaccinateulster.com and fill out a form to work with us, because you would get a stipend and that would help our operation flow a little bit faster. But that was one of the other hangups, was not having enough vaccinators. But, you know, it's all been a work in progress, and we make the information more available as we hear about problems. We let the you know, public health department know, and so that they can keep improving the flow of traffic and everything. So I'm sorry that happened, though.
Thank you, Stacy. I'm gonna move us along to Malia. Malia, do you have any announcements or updates you'd like to share?
Hi, everyone. Malia Dumont. I'm a member of the commission. I'm not a health professional. I don't manage any health programs. I'm just a resident of Kingston who's interested in these issues. I do manage all the COVID policy and response at BARD. So that's what I've been doing with my time, but I come at that from the perspective of an administrator and an organizational strategist. So I'm happy to be here and hear about all the great resources you all bring to the community.
Thank you, Malia. Anna, how are you doing today? Do you want to introduce, you didn't get to introduce yourself earlier. Do you want to have any announcements, communications? Please tell us about your radio show, and then I'll go to Doug after you.
And that's why I was late today, is because I was recording. I do the Irish show on Radio Kingston, and we record on Wednesday afternoon. And I usually finish up in an hour, but today it was a little bit longer, so that's why I came in late. So I apologize that I was late. But I am just an old retired lady that gives my time to People's Place. I'm there one day a week, and my church, and various boards, SUNY Ulster. I'm on many different things in the community. I have no announcements, just I'm glad to be here and glad that everything is going well with Live Well Kingston, and that I just listen to all these announcements. I am just so amazed by all the work that's going on in our community. So I give kudos to everybody. Thank you for all the work that you do.
I have a question for Anna. What time is your show on?
It is on Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock. That's why we record it, because I'm not so good on a Sunday morning. But you can go on Radio Kingston at any time, and you go to the shows, and you could archive it. You go to the archives, and it's the Irish show with Anna and Ken. So you can listen to me at any time, at any place.
I love that idea. I can go get my Anna fix whenever I need it. Doug, do you have any events, programs, updates, announcements you'd like to make?
No, I don't. I'm also not a health professional. I'm worse than that, a politician, and one that's retiring at that. I'm going out of office after 3 terms. But like Anna said, it's really is amazing all the scope of things that everyone on the screen is involved with. I'm very impressed. And Emily, kudos to you for pulling all this together. I know you didn't do it all yourself, but it's really impressive. And you know, anything the Common Council can do to help, I mean, I'm there. Please come to me for that. So I'll just pass it on. Thank you.
I think it's time to say did I miss everyone? I feel like I've heard everyone talk, but maybe I've missed someone. Give me a wave, jump up and down, give me a yell. Anybody? I know that I have announcements and communications, but I'm sort of a little talked out at this point. Let me see if I can remember them. You've all heard me, I think, talk about the pedestrian and bicycle master plan. I'm the project manager. Next week, we hope to put out I'm calling it an app, but it's really going to be a link to a survey with a map where people will be able to input information about their biking and walking destinations. So I will probably send out a mass email or some kind of communication to y'all. I hope that you all share that on. I'd really like to go. Thank you so much, Laurie. Thanks for joining us. Like to share and if nothing else, please share that there is the bike ped master plan happening, and we're in the public outreach. We're trying to collect information about people walking and biking in the city of Kingston. I'm so pleased to have, we sort of did some announcements about the creating healthy schools and communities already, so I don't want to say it again. I'm just super excited to have some new people coming onto this project. It feels like this project is finally kind of getting going. Can't wait to work with you all more about that. Is there anything else there I want to announce? No, I think that's it. Just my excitement about new people coming into the work. What else do I have? That might be it for me for tonight. So, and I'm also really enjoying Cindy's view right now. That could be my desktop, sort of enjoying the idea of warmer weather. Just want to point that out because it's giving me joy. So thus ends our kind of formal networking session. It's just about 5:30. So I might have us end our meeting unless there's some burning questions. I can always be the connector between any of y'all. So if anyone was like, have a thought or a question tomorrow and you want to be connected to another person on this call, please reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you. Other than that, our next meeting will be in December. And we hope to be voting on some new commissioners for 2022. That's the big event for next month's meeting. Any questions, any last thoughts before we say goodnight to y'all? Marge, are you asking me to say something?
Just a quick, if there are any community spaces that would like to add rehabilitated computers, we're in the process of adding computers to when I say public spaces, it's been mostly involved in like community rooms or centers of sort. And we get them from GE Alphen Computers. And I did connect with them again yesterday, and they have more available. If anybody wants to get more information on that project, let me know.
Are these desktops?
They are desktops, but the beauty of them, especially if they go into community centers, is they stay, which is a good thing because the laptops don't. But obviously you need to qualify by providing free to other community services. Let me give you a couple examples. We put them into the Governor Clinton and we put some into Yasmin Towers. We did a CyberNet senior project with teen and senior, and they graduated 40 people. That was before COVID, but we're starting to resurrect that again. And if you know of any veteran that needs a free home computer that does have Wi-Fi, we can make arrangements for that also.
Does that have to be in Ulster County or is that regional?
It has to be in Ulster County.
Okay.
From GE Alphen Computers is more widespread, but our local initiative is more Ulster County. We just ordered another 7 yet today. So they're rehab computers. They've worked well. And yes, they don't have all of the bells and whistles of today's systems, but they're functional. And they allow the seniors to connect nationwide, for example, with their grandchildren. It allows them to look up things on the internet. And what I love about it is there's a program that teaches the senior how to use the computer.
Any other last thoughts? Anything that anyone forgot to mention it's important, or otherwise we'll say our goodnights. All right, I don't see anyone waving me down. I think I'll say thank you so much all for coming for this special meeting. I hope it wasn't too awkward, and I think we should try to consider it for future times. It's kind of nice to have a bunch of you that I work with in our separate focus teams kind of coming together in one space. That was really kind of a nice meeting tonight. So I appreciate you all coming out on a Wednesday night. Thank you, everybody. All right. Good night. Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
night.
Emily. Good night, everyone.